Hello, friends. I'm here. Happy NaNoWriMo. I am in a different location from last week's live. I am now at my aunt's house. I'm still in Winnipeg, but just had a bit of a switch up of where I'm staying. So I've got a cute little room here. I put on one of these old, well, I say old because if you've been around for all of my live streams over the past couple of years, I always had one of these like pretty fall backgrounds with a whole setup using, I can't even remember what I used to use. Anyhow, as always, let me know if sound's good, video's good, music levels are good. I have this time, since I figured out at the end of the stream that I can separately adjust the volume for the timers, because if you were here when the timers go off, they're loud. So I've done that from the start this time. Welcome, Sam. It's good to see you. And I'll say a hello to everyone else who I said hello in the text chat. Hi to Margaret, Sheraton, and Daniel. And hello, Nadim. It's great to see you all. Thanks for joining me for NaNoWriMo. I'm excited to be getting into this. Oh, excellent. Thank you for confirming that, Sheraton. So yeah, I'm here in Winterland, and it's been going well so far. Seeing lots of friends and family. I had a really nice little reunion with a few high school friends last night, which was just really great. I am set up here today with my kombucha, my water, and my very cute coffee mug. Got to have all the liquids on hand. And I also discovered this. It's rosemary truffle popcorn. It's not as flavorful as I was hoping, but it is still good. So as we get into this sprinting stream, let me know what all of you are working on. I would love to hear. And indeed, kombucha is life. I love it so much. When I was in Montreal and I had a home, this is by choice, by the way, for anyone who doesn't know. When I was in Montreal and had a home, I was brewing kombucha and I loved it. It was so great because it was so affordable, because usually it's really overpriced, but now I am stuck buying it because I'm hooked on having it every day. But luckily there's this brand which is funny because I've actually seen it at the dollar store and I was afraid of buying it, but it's at Safeway here in Winnipeg and I actually quite like it. So I don't know. I know some people do not. I think that Sheraton might recognize this inside story, but I don't find it to be that bad. It's not the best, but it's not bad. And it was $1.50, so I really can't complain. Today I'm going to be editing. This is a very different NaNoWriMo for me because usually I do the classic Rymo 50,000 words in a month and I'm starting a new story. But this Rymo, I am doing Rebel Rymo and I have a physical copy of my draft to edit. I just realized I have my cousin's grad photos in here because I needed to use this as a portfolio. And look, she's very beautiful. And so yeah, I'm editing physical copy of my draft and I realized I wanted to do, still do the word count, the 1,667 per day, because I have this thing I've been chasing since I started NaNoWriMo to actually hit par every day, and I want to do that. But then I was like, I can't sit there and count every word. But what I decided, for anyone who's doing something similar, and maybe this will be helpful, what I wound up deciding to do is just counting each page as 500 words because that's on average what a page is going to be. So I'm doing three and a half pages. So 3.5 pages I'm counting as par. So that is how I'm editing right now. And so far I've been hitting it every day. I've not actually updated that on the Nano site, but thankfully I can go back and do that. That's exactly what I was thinking, because you said dollar store kombucha and I was afraid, and then I saw it at Safeway and I was like, well, we're doing this. And yeah, I don't know. They have a pink lemonade one, which is pretty good too. But I'll give one before we get into sprinting, which we will. I've just got to do a little preamble first as people trickle in. One that I really like, which I will give cred to Winnipeg. In Winnipeg, there's this neighborhood called Wolseley, which is where I lived when I was a teenager, and I liked it a lot. It's like Hippieville in Winnipeg. And when I was at the store, they had Wolseley kombucha, and I was like, oh, I need to try this. And that one was pretty awesome. So if you ever get a chance to try Wolseley kombucha, do it for sure. Rebel is... I like rebelling. I feel like I'm cheating though. I feel like I'm not doing as intense of a thing as I've done in past years, which is just odd. But the thing is, I need to not do as intense a thing as I've done in past years right now. So it's good for me. I have the too much gene. And Sheraton, let us know when your video is going to be out, unless I missed it, and then I'm a really, really bad friend. Oh God. Let us know when your video is out, because I know that you have your launch coming out either already or soon. Today, with our sprints, what we are going to be doing is the same as the Preptober stuff that we have been doing, which is 15 minutes and then wrapping up with a half hour. One thing I usually do for the half-hour sprint is I come up with some magic words, and I wasn't sure if I was going to do that or not. So let me know if that's something that you think would be fun, and I will find some while we're heading to the half-hour one. What magic words means is just I'll find some weird words and let you know what they mean, and you can either learn a new word, or you can try to incorporate it into your writing during that final sprint. It's a fun little game. So let me know if you would like me to do that, and I will. I'll find some 4 words or something, and we can laugh at them and or use them. I will also apologize in advance about the music. This is the stock music for StreamYard, because for some reason I loaded 3 long clips of royalty-free music into the program, and none of them are actually playing. So I have to re-upload them and do a whole thing, and I just didn't have time to do that, which kind of sucks. But so we're a bit more limited on music, so if it gets a little bit repetitive, I'm sorry. Hopefully it will just help to keep you in the zone, because sometimes I find that that sort of loop can help. So hopefully it's more of a help than a hindrance. Coding is excellent too. Coding Rymo. It's great to see you, and we are glad that you are chilling with us here today, Daniel. Alrighty, we're at 8 after, so I think we're going to get the first timer up. And like I said, hopefully when the buzzer goes off at the end, it will be okay and not break our ears. I still have my Halloween timers because, again, last minute, I was able to change our little starting screen so that it wasn't spooky themed, but I forgot about the timers. So we have spooky timers again. It's still spooky season. I'm going to a Halloween event tonight, so it's still spooky season. Every day is Halloween for me, so we're going to go with it. And I will have to check that. What I usually do is I usually wind up doing some correspondence before I actually get into writing or editing. So I might be doing a little bit of that first. Anyway, for anyone who's just joined, hello, let us know what you're working on. We're about to start a sprint. We're going to be doing 15-minute sprints and heading into half an hour at the end. And we're going to start in, I think, 1 minute, 10 after. I think that'll be a nice round starting point. And yeah, it's not fall here. It is full on winter. The second I got to Winnipeg, it was winter. And I'm not happy about it because I keep seeing pictures of Montreal like, oh, it's still fall there. And I didn't bring warm enough clothing because for some reason in my head, I didn't think it would be so cold yet, but it's Winnipeg. I guess that's kind of a good thing that I've been away long enough that I forgot a little bit about how the winters are so early. Alrighty, we've got 7 people here now. Welcome. We're about to start a sprint in just right now. It's 10 after, so we are going to get into our first 15-minute sprint. If you just joined, let me know what you are working on. We're going to check in after 15 minutes to see how we all did for word count. I'm doing NaNoWriMo, and yeah, let's get going and see what we can do. All right, so that wasn't too bad for volume on that buzzer. I think we're okay. The half hour one was actually the one though that was extremely loud. If I remember, we were all writing, and then right at the end of the stream, it hit, and it was like, whoa, wakes you up after. So this round, I was going to do some correspondence, but then I wound up starting to write my script for the day because I am coming out with my first NaNoWriMo video tomorrow, and it's been a mess. So I'm trying to figure out what to do, and so I'm just writing a bunch of notes so that I can actually do something. And I have to like film and edit that today because it's been a week. Either way though, I just got 523 words written on that. I'm not counting that in my Nano count. By the way, I am wearing a shirt, guys. I just realized I'm at an angle where it looks like I just have an open dress shirt. That is not the case. This is not OnlyFans. So yeah, I was just like, I had this whole plan to do vlogging, and the 31st I went out. So I woke up the next day and I felt like a garbage person, and I did not drink that much, but I was up late and I had salty food, and that was the thing that gets me a lot. It was a mistake. I had A&W on the way home, and it was a bad idea. A&W at 1 a.m. and then staying up, because I wound up staying up a little bit later to help with a move that was going on and try to be supportive of that, which was Sheraton Knows, the move from hell. So yeah, November 1st, I wrote into that pretty rough. and I was like, let's vlog. I'm like, oh, I don't want to. And then there was some rocky stuff. I won't get into it at where I was staying, and I just was like, I was not able to vlog at that point. I was going to go out some different places and write so I could be like, look, here's this, here's the school I used to go to, and here's all this stuff, and it was going to be really cool. And that didn't happen. I was basically getting settled in, and it just like, it didn't happen. So this first NaNoWriMo check-in that you see tomorrow, there isn't going to be vlogging, but I am going to be talking about how the editing's going and just sort of being in Winnipeg, and I think a little bit about nostalgia and stuff like that. So I think it'll be all right. I stress too much about these check-ins, like about giving something to people, but I'm trying to remind myself that like Preptober is where I really want to help and give some information out. And then in November, it's more about like just how am I doing each week. So that's what it's going to be. But next week there will be vlogging because I've got a plan. Yeah, I mean, like my schedule wound up just being an absolute horror show. But next week I'm going to be working somewhere different. I think four out of 5 days of the week. So I'll be able to do some filming and some aesthetic stuff and things like that, and that'll be cool for next week, I think. And then I will be shortly after that, well, not quite, the vlog after will still be Winnipeg, so you'll get like a couple vlogs with some nostalgia and things like that, and then I will be back in Frenchland, back in Montreal. But yeah, it went well this time. I'm almost finished that script. I'll be able to film it really quick and get it edited and out tomorrow. So I hope that all of you did well on this session. Scheduling prep is extremely important. The move. Yeah. I'm just, it's not letting me show your comment for some reason, Sheraton. Oh, there we go. That move. Yeah. I can't even. And I wasn't even there, but I was trying to like support from a distance. And I was like, all I can do is communicate with everyone and send Ubers to people and send food. Oh God. While trying to work. And it was such a busy work day. And I was trying to prepare to go out. Oh my God. It was something. But humans and their dolls. I am really curious about this, Marcella. Seriously, like, let us know if you're posting your progress on like Instagram or anywhere like that, or if you plan to post it after, because this is something I would definitely love to check out, and I'm sure everyone else would as well, and especially my Quebec friends who are in the chat. But welcome to anyone new who has joined. We're at about 12 people from what my little timer timer. What are words? Writer, who, what? The little yeah, I'm not gonna think of that word. Counter. The little counter says we're at 12 people. So welcome, say hello. If you have not yet, we do not bite. We're a very friendly chat, very supportive. Let us know what you are working on. And we're going to go into another 15-minute sprint. I swear I will not talk as much as I did at the beginning. I just wanted to let some people trickle in. And yeah, for anyone who's just joined, I was working on a script in the last sprint. The words are not counting towards NaNoWriMo. I'm going to wrap that up during this one. And then I am going to be back to editing this beast and trying to get my daily par in. And since I'm doing editor Rimo, I'm doing that by counting 3.5 pages as par. And that's right. Words on a Saturday, it's just, it shouldn't be requested. That's what I think. All right. Well, everyone grab your, drink of choice, snack of choice. I've still got my dollar store kombucha with me. I'm going to get our timer going again. And I'm glad to hear that the volume on it was not that bad. So hopefully that'll be the same for the half-hour one. I am seeing that my my connection is saying it's unstable. So hopefully that continues to be okay. The one thing with moving locations is it's always a fun new experience to see how the Wi-Fi is going to work. But on my actual computer, it says it's perfect. So I think we're all right. Oh yeah, okay. Oh yeah, I should let everyone know if anyone here wants to add me on the NaNoWriMo site and we can check out each other's work. I am gonna post my link in the chat once the timer starts so that we can do that because it's always fun to build the community on there. Alrighty then. Okay. Get our timer going. Everyone ready to move into writing again. And yeah, let's get going and I'll talk to you in 15 minutes. is our second sprint down. How did everyone do? I wrapped up my script. I did 606 words, so I'm at 1,129. Again, not counting that towards NaNoWriMo, though. That was just script writing. So now that I've done that, I'm ready to film when I finish this stream, and I will be able to get to editing. So now my goal is to hit par. So I'm going to try and edit 3.5 pages, which should be totally manageable before the end of this session. Let me know where you are all at. Welcome to anyone who has just arrived. Thank you for joining us. We're doing 15-minute sprints, and then we're going to wrap up the session with a half-hour sprint at the end. And yeah, what else was I going to say? I was going to add something. Oh yeah, I was just going to talk about how when I was writing this script, I'm reflecting a bit on my editing, and not to completely spoil my video tomorrow, but it's funny because I feel like I'm not quite doing enough with the editing right now. But I just remembered, not just remembered, I just put it together. I was like, well, no, these early chapters are going to be much tighter because I've been revising those and rewriting them and going over them and over them for like a decade. So it makes sense that the first bit of this novel is very tight and very good. It just feels weird when I'm editing to be like, no, it's good. It's all right. Other than a couple little things with grammar and tenses and a couple little things that don't make much sense that just sort of stayed in there from when I was younger and just writing away without a lot of knowledge. Yeah, but the thing is, I know that once I get into the newer stuff, I'm going to be wishing I was back at the beginning. So it should be pretty easy for me to get my 3.5 pages in this session. But as things go along, keep an eye out for my future live streams where I will be tearing my hair out. 280 is really good. And oh yeah, I'm definitely going to go check that out. I'll see if you, I'll check for friend requests and stuff when we get into the next sprint. I love seeing the covers that people add. I didn't even know you could do that until last year. So I've been trying to update covers so they're actually personalized on my projects. It is very cold. Not in Canada specifically, but in Winnipeg specifically. I think in Montreal, I'm gonna look it up. In Montreal, yeah, God, why did I look? In Montreal, it's 9 above Celsius. And in Winnipeg, it is, okay, well, it's 1 today, so that's not as bad as it has been. But we were down to -6 on Halloween, which really sucked. It was pretty cold. And it's the prairie here, so it's very flat, and you have a lot of very icy winds. So you go out, and if there's wind, it feels really cold. We have the wind chill. There's always a wind chill warning, and if you take what the temperature is, if it's windy, you have to lower it even more because of the wind chill. So if it's a windy day, it's going to be way worse. And we had a few of those, but today I'm hoping it's not windy because I am going out later, and it would be nice to not feel like I'm dying. But 285 words is excellent, but I'm sorry to hear that you're unhappy about the formatting. It is really hard to not edit as you go if that's what you're used to. That's what I always did. And then when I started NaNoWriMo in 2020, I started doing it. And our wonderful ML Scarlett, she was like, "Don't you dare!" And she just said, "Don't you dare do that. It's all about the word count. If you see one thing that you want to fix as you go, just strike it out, still counts as your words, and move on. Don't focus, or else you're gonna waste your NaNoWriMo time." And honestly, that was one of the best pieces of advice I've received about writing, I think, and I always apply it. Just because you can get so lost in the weeds and and I'm not just directing this at you, Sheraton. This is some general information that really applied to me, and that's what helped me finish my novel, was not going back and trying to perfect it. Because when you have that one full draft, at least you have that thing, and then you can pick away at it, but you have the beginning, middle, and end. But if you're picking away and you don't even have that end, like you're going to go on and on forever. That is why it took over a decade for me to get there with this, because that's how I was editing this. So news to, just advice to everyone. Hopefully it is helpful. Yeah, I bet you do not miss the Canadian winters at all, Daniel. Montreal is like nothing compared to Winnipeg. So when I'm there, it's like people will say, "Oh, you moved here? Like, what do you think about the winter?" I'm like, "Oh, no. I moved here from Winnipeg." And they're like, "Oh, okay." 40 degrees. See, the thing is, like, that would be worse for me. I would much rather be cold. I have heat intolerance, so if I go out in the heat, it's not like I'm just hot. I turn, like, I'm already very pale. I turn like white and also bright pink, and I just pour sweat, which sucks because I would love to visit India in my travels over the next year, but I have to, I don't know, let me know if there's any time during the year where it's a bit cooler in India, because when it hits 30, well, my limit here is about 24 degrees. And after that, I used to tell people if it's 30 and up, I will not go out, but now it's kind of moved down to like 25, depending on the day and how sunny it is. Oh boy. Alrighty, I'm going to move us into our next sprint. This is going to be another 15-minute. We're in our last hour, so I think we're going to do like 2 more 15-minute, and then we're going to wrap it up with our long sprint. And if there's anyone who's going to be sprinting with us regularly and you have a preference, if you like maybe some shorter ones or you want more longer ones, let me know and I can move the schedule around. I've just been doing 15, and then half an hour, and it seems pretty easy. But if anyone has requests, let me know now for next week, and I'll be able to get some new timers for different times. So if someone wants like a 5-minute warm-up sprint or something like that, or they want 2 half-hour sprints at the end, we can play around with that and experiment, because I know different preferences for everyone. Yeah, Brazil. I would like to go to Brazil as well, because we have an office there, my company, and I also have a friend from there, and so I've heard a lot about it, and I'd love to visit. But like those really hot places, I have to be so careful. But yeah, like that's it, Sheraton. Like it's so much better. It's crazy how much it changes if you're someone who was editing as you go and you switch to not doing that. It's like, whoa, wait, I can actually finish something. Thank you for weighing in, Bill. I'm going to make a note, and so maybe next week we can do shorter sprints during the first hour, and then just 2 half-hour sprints for the last hour. We can play around with that. I think that would be a good little experiment. And thank you for joining us. And welcome to anyone who's new. I know we've got fluctuating numbers and not everyone's talking, so I'm not sure who's new, who's been here a while. So if you have just joined, welcome. We are going to get into another 15-minute sprint now, and I'm actually going to be editing now. So I hope everyone has a good productivity session, and I will talk to you in 15 minutes. everyone. So sorry about that. It looks like that dropped for a second there, which is very odd because, like I said in the chat, I have full bars on my internet. It just doesn't want to talk to StreamYard. I believe we are at around 7 minutes, so I'm just going to add our timer back in. Sorry for the interruption. And yeah, I'm just going to add this back in and I'll start us at 7 minutes and we can carry on from there. And hopefully this same thing does not decide to happen again. It's definitely not what we want from our streams, is it? But this is something that has the potential to come up, unfortunately, throughout the next year as I experiment with different Wi-Fis around the world. Okay. All right, here we go. We're at 7 minutes. I'm going to shut up and I'm going to let you write again. And the volume for that went back up because things reset. Sorry if that bothered anyone. I'm glad that the little blip was not too terrible, though. I think there have been some other issues with spottiness through the stream, though I haven't been seeing it on my end. It's very odd, because like I have pretty good internet right now, so it seems to be a problem when I try to stream the timers and then also music. It's like there's too much going on. But yeah, like you said, Sheraton, I'm gonna look into that. I'd never heard of that as any kind of option before, so maybe that's something that could help. I know that I have like tethering through my phone, but that's going to be a charge that goes to my workplace. So it's basically a matter of like I'd have to talk to them and then they would have to send me some sort of bill or figure out how to take it off my paycheck, which I don't know how they are going to do that. Like they're pretty flexible, but that might be kind of an ask. And I have my own laptop, but it's not good for streaming. It's like I bought it specifically for writing because I generally just use my desktop, but I'm traveling, so I'm not using my desktop now for like editing and stuff. Anyhow, I'm sending you cold waves from Canada, Nadim. Hopefully it helps you out. And thank you for the little snow emotes, Sheraton. Very cute. Anyhow, how'd everyone do on that one? I hope you did well. I got 2 pages in, and this is a super short chapter, so I only have like just under a page left. So I'm gonna keeping on with that, and it went pretty well. Where was that? There was one part that I was reading that I liked, but I don't know. I always wonder if I should share stuff or not, or if it's too spoily. I'm going to share an excerpt in my video tomorrow, so if you want to watch that, I would appreciate the views, and I'll talk a bit more about my story and what I'm working on at that point. It's still I'm still in the 30s here for pages, so I'm not really deep into it yet. I hope you all did well. What's your word count like? I would count mine as like 1,000 for editing right now because I'm just doing 500. I'm not gonna, like I said earlier, I'm not gonna go like 1, 2, 3. Ain't nobody got time for that. Just looking at your comments. Hey, Jumies, by the way, and thank you for giving me that little note about how the stream was looking. I'm glad it is not the worst. Yeah, beginning can be tough for me. I sort of like starting things off, but it does take me a while to figure out like exactly how I want to start it. So that can be difficult. But I feel when you figure out that like, oh, this is how I want to do it, then you're kind of off to the races, which is nice. But for me, ending is really difficult. So I'm glad that you have some good stuff done and that you're feeling good about it. And 500 words is excellent. 146 more is also good, and I'm glad that you're enjoying the chat and editing and stuff. It's always good to, even if you're like, okay, I'm not getting 1,000,000 words in today, it's good to have that support there and to communicate with people. It just makes the whole process so much easier. Congrats on the 300. Hopefully when I put the timer back on here, we're not gonna have any issues and we'll be able to write straight through. I thought we'd be able to do another 15-minute, but with that blip, we're just going to have time to do another half hour and do our half hour and then wrap things up. So I am going to add this little guy to the stage. I'm going to make sure to turn the volume down because this one has a very loud buzzer. So I've turned it down to about 1/3 of the volume, and hopefully that will be all right. I'm just going to edit a little banner because with these longer sprints, sometimes people join in and they're like, oh, I don't know what's going on. And then there's such a long period of time, like without any talking. So I like to have a little message up. So let everyone know that we are doing our final sprint, and that the next one will be next Saturday, 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern. I do want to add one little note just in case anyone heads out during this final sprint. If you want to submit a work to the inaugural edition of the Stygian zine, we're always open for submissions, but the submissions close for the January issue at the end of November. So I know it's NaNoWriMo, which is either going to be a good thing or a bad thing with that. So for some, I know you can you'll be able to work on a short story or something that you can submit during the month. But for some people, it'll stop them from doing that. So I apologize to anyone who's in that boat. But maybe there's someone out there who wants to do a little exercise in between sprints or something and work on a short story or a poem. We're accepting a lot of stuff in the zine. So short stories, poetry, art, photography, comics, and you can check out stygiansociety.com. There's just a little tab right at the top that says zine, and you will be able to get all the information about word count and things like that and send your submission in. And if you are chosen for the January issue, you're going to get $20 and a physical copy of the zine. And I'm really looking forward to reviewing everyone's submissions throughout this month and heading into December and getting that printed. It's going to be a new thing for me, so there'll be some, a learning curve, but I look forward to it, and I think it's going to be really cool because everything Stygian is really cool. It has been so far anyway, because we have amazing authors who are involved. I'm so glad that you like the timer, but yeah, I like the sound at the end. It was just a little loud. It's a little different, but I'm gonna just... All right. Oop, that just blinked out. Hope we're gonna be okay. Oh God. I hope you're able to write something for it too. And yeah, for anyone who's not able to submit something for this one, we do 2 issues a year. So there's gonna be one in July as well. And those submissions go up to the end of June. And yeah, you can submit all the time. Alrighty, with all of that rambling done, I am going to get us back into writing, and I hope we can all get a lot done during this longer 30-minute sprint. Talk to you in half an hour. we go. That was fun and not too loud, I think. Now imagine that at full blast. That's what happened to us last week. Well, say goodbye to the fun, spooky sound because next week I'm going to have something a bit more neutral, a bit more antique-y, I think, a bit more nano and channel aesthetic. As much as I love the spookies, I hope everyone did well. Let me know where you're at. Yeah, I know it's great, and I didn't hear it when I first downloaded the timers in October because I just got them like at the last minute, and then so the first time I heard it, I was like, oh my god, I love it. I'm gonna try to find one with equally good sounds at the end, or I might just make my own or something. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, it is, and it is a good little upbeat way to cap things off. I have wrapped up my editing for the day. I kind of wanted to keep going, but I stopped myself because I did what I needed to do. It's good. I did a couple other things. And thank you, Daniel. It's always great to see you in the chat. I'm going to, the rest of the day, I got to run an errand, and then I'm going out to another Halloween event, but I'm not going to be dressing up for this one because I only brought one costume, and I've already worn it, and I don't want to do it again. So I'm just going to goth it up because it's a goth night. And it was great seeing you as well, Nadim. Have a good night. Congrats on the 220, Jumies. That is very good. And yeah, please join us next week. And I'm really happy that it helped you get some writing done. 385 words. Nice. I'm at my 1,667 for the day. And I'm at, what am I for my total? I'm 13% done, 6,668 out of 50,000. The thing is, this book is longer, so I don't think I'm going to finish editing this. It's still a long way to go, but I'm going to continue that after, and the plan is that NaNoWriMo will at least jumpstart me. Yeah, so the event I'm going to is actually, it's called Hell Night, and it's a Winnipeg Goth Night Halloween, and I used to go to it like when I was 18, like every year that I was living here, so I'm looking forward to it, though I'm a little like, oh god, who am I going to see there? But it should be fun, and I'll probably talk about it next week. And yeah, thank you everyone for joining. I hope it was productive. I will be back next week, 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern, and again, Tuesday, text sprints on Discord, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern, and you can also run sprints any other time you like on there. Feel free to use it as you wish. There's only one Tuesday this month where I will not be doing them, and that's the 21st because I am traveling back to Montreal that day. All right, so 2 p.m., wrapping it up, and with all that being said, I hope that you all continue to have a day that is just as wonderful as you are. Bye.